It's been just about 1 year since I first got into credit cards. At that time, I only had one card open since all the way back in 2018, that being my original Delta Sky Miles Platinum card. You can see all the wear and tear on that. I had about 20,000 Delta Sky Miles in my account around that time, this being my only card that we were putting spend on. However, over the last 12 months or so, I have now 18 credit cards open, and this allowed my wife and I to earn over 2 million credit card points and miles, which we then used to book a $30,000 honeymoon. So as you'd imagine, going from this to now this, you can probably tell I was very aggressive over the last year, where we were mainly using our wedding expenses to be able to hit different sign-up bonuses on cards from multiple different credit card lenders. And while I may not recommend that for everyone out there, it did ultimately allow us to accomplish our goal of being able to take our honeymoon trip for as close to free as possible. So yes, we were able to earn a ton of points and miles. However, along the way, I made plenty of mistakes. There was a bunch of things that I even regretted when looking back at the strategy that I was following. So in this video, I want to share with you guys the 4 key takeaways that I have from my first year in the credit card game. Let's get into it. The first key takeaway, and really the main point that I think everyone in this game should follow, is that you should never stop learning and always look to absorb new information. Whether you're someone who's always online and reading different blogs or different websites and taking in your information that way, or even if obviously you're here on YouTube watching a channel like this, there's always sort of new strategies or new rules that end up popping up that are always going to be shifting and changing your own strategy that you're taking to your own credit card setup. And one of the most recent examples that I can think of that I literally just learned about is the fact that my brand new Wells Fargo Attune credit card, which has now allowed me to start earning cash back instead of just points and miles, earns 4% cash back on Amazon purchases. So Amazon still technically codes on the back end as a bookstore, and the Attune has bookstores under its hobby entertainment category. So you are able to earn that 4% cash back, which is something I never would have otherwise known if I hadn't been out searching for more information and watching different YouTube videos. Now, no matter where you start in this game, you will quickly find that there is so much information out there, and it's almost like an information overload and you're drinking from a fire hydrant. But just sort of take the bits and pieces that you can see working for you or information that you can implement into your own strategy and sort of cherry pick what you want to learn about, whether it be a specific card or a specific lender, and really kind of run with that and try and get as full of an in-depth understanding as you can on whatever topic that you're interested in learning about. A topic that I'm targeting right now is something I really need to learn a lot more about is the redemption side of this whole game. So yes, there's a lot of ways that you can earn all these points and miles, and you need to have a firm understanding of all the different application rules and which order you should be applying for cards in. But the flip side, and really part 2 of that, is actually being able to book trips and getting the most amount of value for your points, whether that be on paper with a cent per point value, or just whether you're really valuing the trip that you're going to take. However you want to place value on that, at least understanding all the different travel portals, transfer partners is a whole nother thing that you really need to dive into. Now, I can admit that I've really gone through these different sort of waves over the last year or so of, spending every waking moment, as soon as I get out of work, watching credit card YouTube and reading things like the Points Guy or the Doctor of Credit articles that post several updates on a daily basis, to really just kind of fully removing myself and sort of just wanting to distract myself with other things, whether it be some personal stuff that I was going through or the fact that I did get married and I didn't really have time to do it. I sort of found myself going through these different ebbs and flows of being fully in and kind of one foot out the door. And I think that's okay. But I think if you really want to win at this game, you need to really dedicate a lot of time to trying to learn as much as you can. That's a perfect segue into my second key takeaway for this video, which is don't be scared of the vast amount of information out there and maybe some of the things that you may read online sort of pushing you in certain directions with which cards that you should or shouldn't add. You should really be terrified of things like American Express pop-up jail or even Chase's 524 status. But I can speak from experience saying that I've been in Amex pop-up jail for just over 6 months, I believe it is at this point. And honestly, there's a ton of ways around it, whether it be trying to apply for a co-branded credit card from, say, Marriott with American Express. I want to go for the Bevy credit card. Applying through the Marriott website through that link may actually help you get out of pop-up jail. There's some strategies on how you can get out as well by just simply putting more spend on your Amex credit cards. Or there's other things like no lifetime language offers or some different strategies that I won't share in this video, but if you go out looking hard enough, you will find some very interesting ways that you can sort of work your way around that. You'll also hear a ton about things like Chase's 524 status and how you need to really build your entire strategy around remaining under 524. So that rule states that you are not going to be approved for any Chase cards if you applied for 5 or more credit cards within the last 24 months. And in the very beginning, I based a lot of what I was doing simply around the Chase 524 rule. However, that sort of evolved over the last year. And as of recently, I've really just kind of stopped caring about that and just gone all in on cards that I knew I could get approved for with specifically American Express for a couple reasons that I'll talk about a little bit later. Or if you're someone that really wants to make sure that you can constantly be applying for Chase credit cards and earning ultimate rewards points, then you're really going to want to pay attention to your status, where you stack up, and have a very good plan moving forward for when you want to apply for cards and the best way that will allow you to earn those UR points. So as of right now, I'm currently sitting at 824, so not until late in 2026 can I even go out and apply for another Chase card, and I'll cover this in a bit more detail when it comes to my exact Chase strategy now moving forward, but there's been a ton of changes recently, and this goes back to my first point about always being, sort of absorbing information and trying to stay up to date as you can with any updates that are coming out. Is they're really now limiting on the Chase side you to only being able to get, say, one sign-up bonus on either the Chase Ink Cash or Ink Unlimited card. And same thing on the Sapphire cards as well. So let's say, for example, as I do right now, I have the Sapphire Preferred. I may not be eligible to receive the Sapphire Reserve bonus. So the previous rules that were in place that sort of allowed you to churn those Sapphire cards every 4 years is gone. And that's changed really my outlook for the next year when it comes to which Chase cards that I can and cannot apply for. Another thing that may sort of worry you or cause you to panic a bit in the beginning is the price tags or the annual fees associated with a lot of these premium cards nowadays. I mean, the Amex Platinum is now up to an $8.95 fee. The Chase Sapphire Reserve just went up to $7.95. Other cards like the Bonvoy Brilliant, which I do hold, is a $650 card. So there are a few tricks that sort of lead me into my next point as well that can allow you to really work out if these cards are going to be worth it for you or not. And my best advice is to not be too scared of the price tag itself, but really what the card is going to offer in terms of the different credits and benefits. One of the best parts about going for some of these cards, if you're someone who is sign-up bonus hunting like I was using my wedding expenses and really almost able to hit any sign-up bonus that was out there, is these cards typically offer the highest welcome offers that you can find anywhere in the credit card game. Just consider your own disposable income, and sticking with the Amex Platinum example, can you really afford to pay an $895 annual fee? Granted, it's now got a ton of credits, and they stated on their website that it's over $3,000 in value that you can actually earn back, but it does take time to get that value back over the next year. So just consider how much money that you're actually willing to pay across all your credit card annual fees at one time. That leads me into my third key takeaway, which is to always have a plan. Again, drawing from my own experience, this is something that you're going to see evolve over time. So thinking all the way back to, I believe it was October of 2024 when I had just gotten engaged to when I was first thinking about applying for cards, it started as simple as a just Excel list of card names, the sub they were offering, and how much spend it would take to actually hit those and how many points we could potentially earn, to now the first version of my road mapping tool that you can see on the screen here. And so this is actually a bit outdated now, but you can see down here at the time I was, looking to have my fiance apply for the Freedom Unlimited. I wanted to get the Hawaiian card, things like that didn't end up happening. But at the time, it seemed in my mind to make a ton of sense. Those were the cards I wanted to go for in points currencies that I did want to earn more in. But flipping over to now, say one of my more recent versions of this file, you can see all the cards that I've added since then. And you can see those cards that I just mentioned are not actually on here for cards that I went out and applied for. And down here for the next cards that I do want to apply for over the next 12 months or so, a lot of these are actually changed from the file that you just saw previously. So what I sort of did over time, as you can probably tell, was obviously change sort of which cards I was targeting next, but also made improvements to the files that I was using and how in-depth I was getting with my tracking of each individual card and when exactly I wanted to apply next. Here, using the credit card blueprint, which is something I made in partnership with the one and only Spencer Johnson. Shout out to you, Spencer. This was an awesome idea and I had so much fun working on this. But I think an evolution of how you're actually tracking all the cards in your wallet is key. And there's a ton that you can do in this file, so make sure you guys check it out if you're really struggling to sort of find how to get organized. So having a true credit card roadmap, as we call it, is a key to success in this game. And thinking through constantly, not only the cards that are in your wallet, all the value that you can see that I'm getting from each individual card, but really sort of having a plan for which cards I want to go out and apply for next. Honestly, I change these cells just about every week or so as sort of my thinking changes or some new information comes out. So being able to have this on paper, I think, is a key to success and will allow you to just have a clear picture on exactly what you should do next. Another thing that you should really dive into is, especially, again, sticking with these high annual fee card examples, there's now so many different credits and benefits and whatever dollar value that they're saying online. I think it's very important that you sit down and actually work out all the different credits, how exactly you can use each of those, whether you're going to be changing your behavior to make this card work for you, or if this card can just organically fit into your current spending habits. This is a very important step to take. So sticking with the platinum card example of an $895 annual fee, if I dive into some of the credits here, so things like the digital entertainment credit, where I can just set this card as my primary payment method on my Hulu bundle, which is right around $27 a month. This credit gives you $25 back, so a very simple credit to use. Other things like the Uber Cash or the Uber One benefit, I get full value from because I'm already using Uber even before they got added to this card. And now the brand new $600 hotel credit, which is best in class on this American Express Platinum card. I can get the full $600 in value there. Yes, it's a lot of money to fork up front, but you can see here that even without factoring in points, I'm actually making out in the positive when it comes to the ability to actually use the credits and benefits on this card. Another thing to consider, especially when you're just getting started, and this is really what drove a lot of the decisions that I made in terms of which cards I ended up applying for, was the different transfer partners associated with each lender's point currency. This table alone, I think, is one of, if not the most important things in this credit card game. It's knowing your own biases and maybe different hotel chains or different airlines that you really prefer to fly. That will drive which cards that you want to go out and get so that you can earn the points that can eventually be transferred to those. And there's even now a bunch of different intricacies within the transfer partners alone, things like different transfer rates or transfer bonuses. So along the same lines of having a plan, I think it's very important as well to really be patient and sort of follow whatever plan that you put in place, whether you want to apply for cards once a month or once a year. Make sure you sort of stick to your own internal rules and guidelines. This example here of the Bilt World Elite MasterCard is a card that I think is great. And honestly, I would stack it up against any other no annual fee card, especially here in 2025. But I sort of view applying for this card as early as I did, as you can see here, all the way back in September of 2024, as a bit of a mistake on my part, because quite frankly, this card has no sign-up bonus associated with it at all. And I definitely could have used that Chase 524 slot on just one more Chase card at the time. But my strategy last year was to just use wedding expenses, hit sign-up bonuses, and earn as many points and miles as I can in the shortest amount of time, which is why I sort of view it as a mistake, because it almost went against my exact strategy at the time. But hey, you live and you learn. Anyone out there, any other content creator, really anyone that you talk to, no matter how long they've been into this game, will tell you that they made plenty of mistakes along the way. So just use those as sort of a learning experience moving forward and never make the same mistake twice. The fourth and final thing that I want you guys to take away from my learnings over the last year is to do your best to tap into this amazing credit card community. Now, this may sound a little bit cheesy, but there is truly no better collection of people out there on the internet that are so uplifting and supportive of new content creators like myself, or people just constantly trying to share their own strategies and their own experiences, which can in turn help you. So do your best to connect with people, reach out. I can almost guarantee that just about every single person will get back to you right away, and they will be more than willing to share their own strategies and whatever knowledge that they have. And they're also going to be receptive to learning from you as well, which I think makes this community so healthy and something that you should really sort of lean into if you're looking to really sort of become an expert at credit cards. I have made so many mistakes in my journey so far, and I know that into the future I'm going to make plenty more. And again, I consider myself a novice in this game. I'm sort of just getting started, but even still, as someone that's really got sort of just a base level understanding where I'm at right now, I was still able to take almost full advantage of the true power of the credit card game and was able to book the honeymoon trip of our dreams for nearly free. Of course, none of this would be possible without my beautiful wife, my player 2, also being willing to apply for some cards here and there to rack up some additional points. So shout out to her. So no matter what situation that you're in, whether you're in one player mode, you have a player 2, or maybe you got a player 3 and you got 2 girlfriends or boyfriends at home, whatever it is, take the bits and pieces that you learned from this video and any other knowledge that you can gain and sort of boil those all up into your own individualized strategy. So now that I am actually married and we're through the wedding, I'm going to be sharing a ton more on my channel about the honeymoon trip that we ended up booking. I'll share all the footage when we end up taking that trip here in just a few weeks. And also now I'm looking ahead to 2026 and sort of how my own strategy is going to continue to evolve and change now that we have nowhere near the amount of spend that we had in 2025. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you guys like this video, hit the subscribe button down below. I really, really appreciate it. It helps get this visible to more people out there. If you're looking for some other ways to support the channel, you can check out my brand new website, thejordanrulesforcredit.com, where you can find all my new merch that's out right now. I'll also drop a link down below to the credit card blueprint file that I was using in this video that I made in collaboration with Spencer. Again, thank you, Spencer. Shout out to you. And also I'll drop all my referral links down below for some of the cards that I mentioned. If you decide to use any of those, I really do appreciate it and thank you in advance. If you want to see me break down some of the cards that we currently have in a bit more detail than you saw in this video, or you want to see sort of how our strategy has evolved over the last 12 months, make sure you check out one of the videos that I'll leave on the screen here. I appreciate every single one of you guys just for clicking on and watching the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.